Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Evil Within Akumu difficulty, no upgrades, no keys, walkthrough. We're on part 2 of chapter 10, and I'm currently kiting some haunted so that I can put one shell in them and burn them all. Sometimes this works perfectly like this, sometimes it doesn't. That has nothing to do with you, I'm afraid, and that's one of the reasons that I think this game needs to be fixed. But that is one of the slight problems with it, and all the qualities outshine the problems, and I think it's a fantastic title. This sequence coming up is very tough, so you might realise the enemies randomise on this game, so sometimes that will be a fat man, other times it will be Mrs. Potter here chasing me down, trying to get me to sign a petition against skateboarding on the streets, and now she's doing a very compelling job of not attacking. What I'm trying to get her to do is commit to something, like a punch, because then she'll stop afterwards and I can throw a bottle at her face. But unfortunately, Mrs. Potter doesn't like being glassed, and she's having issue with this by chasing me down in her sensible shoes. So I throw it at her and I fuck up, so I'm going to have to shoot her, or beat her up. I hope I beat her up. Because melee fighting on this game is completely worthless until you upgrade it, and in a run like this, you know what I'm meant to do. So instead, I introduce her to Cousin Remington, and then I shoot a bolt up her ass. So unfortunately, Grandma got it rough, but that could have been so perfect if she'd have pointed at me when she turned up, and then I could have bottled her, but instead, I had to waste 2 weapon ammunitions. So this is when things get tricky. The strategy I'm going to implement here is probably a freeze bolt or a stun bolt, because when I turn the corner, we're going to open up a trauma, and the traumas are very dangerous. They're dangerous for a few reasons. They have a lot of life, they take a big old beating, and they have moves that have wide sweeping arcs, they're very quick, and you die in one hit. So what I do here is, I drop the axe there because we're going to need it later on, and then I spawn him. As soon as I spawn him, I run back to where we started, and I lure him back to me. I am certain that there's probably a way to get this creature to kill itself with the traps, but I have no idea how to do it. And there's a fight later on, just after this room, where there seems to be the perfect opportunity to kill these creatures with traps, but I just couldn't for the life of me get it to work. And if anybody has a great strategy on getting that to work, please feel free to share it, because I think you'll really help people save ammo. Pick up the axe on your way back, by the way. Pull this lever. After you've pulled it, do not hesitate, run directly underneath the blades. If you're really good at kiting and confident here, you can do this without using the freeze bolt. I wanted to use it because I'm not that confident in the checkpoints, and of course, you know, I'm trying to do this as quickly as I can. I don't have the luxury of spending weeks on this difficulty when I want to bring it to the attention of people on YouTube and hopefully help people who are struggling. And I do appreciate there are a lot of people who rent games or who buy games with full intentions of playing them once and then trading them in so that they can get something else. And, you know, maybe those people need help, maybe those people are looking for help, and if I'm not there, they'll be finding something else, and I don't win that way. So, you know, you've got to meet the demand, and judging by the views on this project so far, which is doing really positively, this game is in high demand, because the Akumu mode is very difficult, and you can't cheese it, which is glorious, because it means people who are making walkthroughs like myself actually have something to contribute to the, you know, the gaming culture of helping each other play games. But this next room is a nightmare, because on Survivor it was bad, on this it's worse. What they've done is they've added another guy, so there are 2 normal enemies, 2 normal haunteds, and 2 traumas at the same time. And not only that, I think there's more traps. I think they've had the gall to put more bloody bear traps down. You know, it's everything on top of each other. It's so brutal. But it has to be said, I was stuck here on Survivor mode a hell of a lot longer than I was on the recording of this. So the torment that I went through during that experience taught me how to do this section quite well. However, there is a variable of luck involved here, and it's always, well, it's always luck based, isn't it, the most difficult parts of levels. So my strategy is simple, folks. I'm going to lure both the traumas into the room that I've just come out of. Then I'm going to freeze them both with one shot and hope it freezes both of them. Then I'm going to try and open the door. If I get the door open, depends on one thing. The trauma's ability to pathfind back to where I am through those hollow doorways when there's 2 of them clipping each other. If you get good luck, you'll open the door, you'll not have a problem. If you get bad luck, you'll have one of them so fast on your ass that you don't even get a chance to disengage and maybe freeze them again. That's just how unlucky this can be. So this is me testing the axe. Or maybe it's not. This is me throwing grenades. Interesting. Thinking back, perhaps I shouldn't have done this if I'm just going to freeze them. So I believe this is me trying to kill them, and I don't know how successful this is going to be. We will soon find out. So kiting in small corridors is not the best choice. You're probably wondering why I'm doing it. I'm wondering the same. Desperation, mainly. I'm going to step in a bear trap. I can see this happening. No. This is very dangerous. Very dangerous. But it's working, and you've just got to do what works, guys. Whatever it is that works, do that. This doesn't look like it's working, but maybe that's the trick. So there's the freeze shot. We don't have the lackey on us. Now we just need to make a quick freeze shot just in case they come back to freeze them again, and then we hit this. So turn your camera to look at the doorway, and this is where the luck is involved. Wait for it. Wait for it. Here they come. So this is when you start to panic. But the door's open. Do not dilly-dally in this room. I have no idea what dilly-dally is, but don't do it. Pull the lever, crouch immediately and go under this door, because watch what's about to happen. I believe if you turn around... Chris, turn the camera, Chris. A trauma's just about to get to that doorway. Oh, I think he was. Maybe it's a different run, I can't remember. Yeah, you can hear him now. So, they can follow you. Do not think once you've opened that doorway you're safe. You have to get away. Looking back, should I have used all those grenades? No, I shouldn't have. Should I have wasted all that stuff? No, I shouldn't. I should have lured both of them with the guy, got rid of the guy, froze those dudes, and got through that door. But, like a lot of the strategies you've witnessed, guys, these were the successful runs, and I've kept them, you know, tooth and nail as they were. Because I believe that's what makes my walkthroughs honest. I think that's what differentiates them from some of the other ones. I'm not afraid to tell you my mistakes. I'm not afraid to share the times where I don't play as good as I could have played. But there is a humanization value in that, which makes it so that you don't watch it and your first thought is, well, I can't do this because look how good this person is, you know? Because that's something that, if you're a walkthrough maker and the first response for somebody watching your content is, how the hell am I supposed to do that? It's too difficult for me to do. Then you've made a poor walkthrough. It might be the best footage in the world. It might be the most impressive display of skill, but it doesn't help people. And that's the thing, guys. You know, I could treat this game like the one-frame links on Street Fighter 4 into crazy, you know, hit confirm, super reset combos and things, but then it would ostracize the people who don't have that timing or don't have the time to gain that timing and that muscle memory. And of course this game is nowhere near as complicated as those fighting games, but you can approach every game you play with that kind of mentality of getting deep into the metagame and getting deep into the mechanics, which is something I do personally love. But if my strategies rely on your ability to use a gun, and what I mean by this is, you know, if you only have 6 bullets and you have to shoot him in the face 6 times, me showing you shooting him in the face 6 times perhaps is not the best way to do that. A better use of my time would be maybe finding an uglier version of getting to the same conclusion without those 6 necessary headshots, which is very difficult to do. But sometimes you stumble upon it, and sometimes it's incredibly fun to do so. Hence why I do what I do. But Laura's back, as you can hear, and this first part is so trollish. When you press this, she's going to break through the fence. For some reason she didn't want you before, but now she super wants you. So here she comes, and you cannot crawl under the door quick enough, because it's not high enough to crawl under. So she's real close, and when she starts teleporting is when Uranus should start pouting, because you're real close to being grabbed. Like that. The good thing to know with this creature is her animations and where they go and where they take her. Once you understand how she works, it's a lot easier to navigate her. And on this difficulty, you're going to need that knowledge because she's always up your ass. There's never a moment where she gives you breathing room. She will always be with you, just like Mufasa was. But this sequence is one of those scripted moments where you have to run away. You need to do a right turn here when the door flips open. So there's your cue, and here you have to go straight forward and ignore this dude. Once you get to the door, it'll go to a cutscene, and then you'll shut a door. And he shuts the door even though her hands are still in it. Don't really get that. Don't understand how that works. Isn't it funny how she can instantly kill us? She can tear apart a chain link fence and get through it, but she can't push a human's strength against a wooden door. And I'm not questioning it, it's a video game, but it is kind of interesting that she has that weakness for wooden doors. So I have 4 matches, soon to be 5, because the game's going to give you matches, because matches are a very powerful weapon against this creature. When you fully upgrade your matches, you can carry 30. 30 matches. Just imagine 30 matches. Ugh. It must be like people from, medieval times contemplating the internet. It's just baffling. The notion that we can have something in our pocket that will answer any of the questions that we should ask is a pretty powerful tool. So you can actually shoot the valve that stops the flame on the next section before you trigger the checkpoint here, but the game doesn't save it, which I think is very bullshitty, because it would save you so much time and it would make this next checkpoint a little bit less annoying. And this next checkpoint is annoying. So it's annoying because, well, you have to do, I think it's 3 rooms in a row without mistakes, and any game that makes you do, a succession of experiences without mistakes is tough, because we're human and we make mistakes. And this is the game at its highest level, and sometimes we don't always play at our highest levels, so it's something that happens, and it happens to everybody, regardless of how much they like to tell you it doesn't. So the first thing you need to know about this sequence from the other difficulties is there's a lot more booby traps. The booby traps are obnoxious. When you pull this lever, the furnace to my right is going to open and she's going to turn up again. She moves so fast as well. Do not hesitate or wait for her, just hit the switches, because chances are she's already on you. And if you're clever enough with your positioning, she'll follow into the fire anyway. But just like the other encounter with her, if there's any bodies in the room, if you hurt her and she morphs into another body, you can do the match spawn attack, which is one of the most powerful ways to fight this creature. And I think these sections are really interesting. When the room dims like that, it means the fire's gone, so you can go through. I just don't want to take any chances. Be careful on this next part. There's a really sneaky bear trap on the left path. Like, the letterboxing does nothing on this game except obstruct your view and enable fucking cheeky bear traps to get you all the time. Always hit this. If you don't hit this, she'll be on you too quick. Always hit that. Bear traps here as well. Like, where is it? Where is it? There it is. Fucking bear traps everywhere. So on this particular sequence, there is a lever to shoot to set her on fire. So shoot it quick and hope it gets her. If it doesn't, you might be in trouble. And then you have to kind of kite her around this pillar. So this is not that difficult because the pillar gives you a big advantage. However, it also blinds you. So if she initiates an attack that covers quite a lot of ground, if you can't see her and then she comes from round the corner and you're close to it and she's in that attack, you'll get grabbed. And there's not much you can do except kind of go touche game, you bastard, and carry on. But as soon as you get in here, you're safe. Look upwards, do not touch the fire, Jesus Christ, that was close. The hell was I thinking? So look up, Chris, and shoot the valve. There it is, valve is shot. Then hit the door and tap A, and I believe we'll get a checkpoint. So that is the first sequence out of the way, so you can rejoice in the fact that you never have to see those screens again until you play again. And here we have the final part. So to do this, you have to shoot 3 valves to get through the next room. In this room, there are bear traps that weren't there before, so be aware of said bear traps. Here she comes again, all scary. So let's just ring around the rosy the bitch, and then hit this beast up here. Be careful of the bomb behind me. As soon as the fire goes down, you want to drop down here. Be careful of bear traps. Bear traps are everywhere. I swear to God, I have never seen a single bear in this game, but if any of them did decide to turn up here, they would be screwed. It's just so equipped to handle this epidemic of sudden resurgence of bears, and it's baffling. But now that we've shot that explosive, we just need to shoot this lever. She's teleporting, so she's going to be super fast. We need to move. Oh, very close. And now we're over here. We have to just wait for the flames to go down, or shoot that one there. Shoot that, and then it'll enable us to pull the lever. So ideally, you don't want to pull the lever unless she's away from you. So right now, I'm kind of shitting the bed. I'm shitting the bed big time. There is so much shit in said bed, I could not even sleep for the smell, but we did okay. I don't know how, but it just kind of worked. And then you just have to kite her until the fire goes down and you've won. And it sounds dead simple, doesn't it? And it looks kind of simple because I've showed you the successful run, but I was here for about 40 minutes because finding out where the bear traps are by stabbing in them, by stepping in them, is not a good strategy, and I had to get past that for quite some time. And just getting grabbed when she moved so fast, so concurrently, that it didn't make any sense. And my only advice to you there, folks, is if you are having a tough time, just remember that it happens. Everyone's going to have those moments where you get grabbed and you don't feel like you should, where she just bullshits you because she can, and where you forget there's a bomb, or you forget there's a bear trap, or you didn't know there was a bear trap until it bit your shoe. And you know, once you do it, you never have to go back again and deal with that nonsense. Because on the early difficulties, there are no bear traps in those rooms, and if there are nowhere near as many. And it's just an environmental puzzle at that point. It's just crazy that all of the environmental puzzles come with these more traps. And it kind of makes me wish the game had perhaps a few more presets for traps.
Shit, back here again.
I don't really know what it could do, but you know, I wasn't paid to design the game, and I like to think if I was, we would have perhaps come up with a few more traps, because traps are cool. And every trap in this game was in Resident Evil 4, except for those stupid skateboards. Like spike traps, wire traps, you know, bear traps, even though, once again, did you see a single bear in Resi 4? I didn't. Paranoid nation of bear trappers, apparently. But this is the end of the mission, folks. The only thing left to do here is retread your steps through this area you've been in, and then progress onwards into a boss fight. Yep. Chapter 10, not only does it have a very difficult level, but it has a back-to-back boss fights. One with Laura the Shrieker, and now one with the Amalgam Alpha. And this is a boss fight that I was dreading. So I will see you in the next video where we get to see if that dread was worthwhile. Thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.
Hey! I know you.